Psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists. It is said that they comprise 1% of the population, if not more. Hopefully it's less than that. Unfortunately, this ostensibly small number is largely concentrated in positions of power, politic, corporations, corporate businesses, not just mom and pop or mid-sized businesses. We're talking business leaders, fame, celebrity, and content creation. I have had... Okay. How am I going to tie this together? Okay, welcome to Fat and Broke, to Fit and Rich, where I go from being broke in my mom's basement...
The basement.
That's 100% real. This is my situation right now. I have $600 in my bank account, but I have a lot of jobs that I have incoming, thank God. Or thank universe, thank deity, whatever the fuck you believe in. Thank God. Thank whatever. Thank something. But I've always struggled with money. I've struggled with money my whole life. Now, this is not an excuse, but I want to talk about one of the contributing factors to this. If you haven't noticed, when you look at someone who is homeless and you look at someone who is on top of the world in a penthouse in Miami, fucking whoever they want to fuck, buying whatever champagne they want to buy, what separates these two individuals? I am maybe going out on a limb here, but I want to say observationally, a huge soft spot opens up in me. Huge. Whenever they bother me, I often vacillate between leave me the fuck alone and like, why are you like this? It's the ones who are really dejected and down and just like beat down to hell, not the aggressive ones. The type of homeless man who is beat to hell. You can tell that life has brought him to the point where they cannot reach above the surface without the help of someone else, and no one is helping them, whilst thousands of people pass them on a daily basis. But I've also been kind of a dick because I hate getting accosted by them because I'm always in such a pissed off bad mood. You know, I'm just like, leave me the fuck alone. You know, but it's kind of a contradiction, but aren't we all contradictions, right? At least I'm owning my contradictions. But at its core, I have an insane amount of pity for homeless men because it's like, you know, I could be in that position just as easily. Just as easily. I'm in my mom's fucking basement, you know? Where would I be if I didn't have this, you know? And just like, you know, again, I'm not political. I'm not one way or the other. But I find it unreal how some people can, like, see a fucking guy with a cup, like a fucking Arby's cup crushed on the ground that he opened up again, puts out his hands in a bowing position, and he's just done. And he just has an Arby's cup asking for change. Done. Just dejected, beat to fucking nothingness. One step away from being put out of his misery in this prison planet and hopefully going to a better place. That level. How could anyone look at that and say like, oh, it's fucking homeless people. Get a fucking job. Get a fucking job. Fucking seriously? What the hell is this meek man who is done with life, broken, on the ground with an Arby's cup for pennies, gonna do? Sure, he's made bad decisions. Sure, he's not helping himself. Sure, he's a leech off the system. But holy fuck, you are not helping either. If you feel nothing but contempt when you see that, instead of at least something, anything, any semblance of emotion, you're a psychopath. You're a sociopath or a narcissist. There's no other way to put it. That's not to say that we need to grovel and say, I feel so bad for him, you know, because it's an increasing problem, but it's like, life is nuanced. It's not black and white. And you don't know the fucked up circumstances he's been through to get to that position. Maybe he saw a buddy take a bullet in the Middle East. You never know. So before people pass judgment, anyway, I have an ultimate soft spot for these guys, you know, because I know what it's like to struggle mentally, and it's like some days I just want to completely give up and go on the street and say, fuck everybody, fuck everything. I'd rather be on the street than manipulate someone into making a sale or something. I don't know. What separates their spirit, their soul, from the guy in the penthouse banging the girl doggy style looking over the Atlantic? You know? Wow. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say pathology has a big part of this. Not always, of course, but tying this back to narcissism, sociopath, psychopath, a lot of these individuals thrive because they are expert manipulators. It's actually a little nerve-wracking making this video because, statistically speaking, one of those three couple of people will watch this and they'll feel seen. But my job is not to expose them. I don't want to expose them. I don't give a fuck. Like, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. This world is designed for that type of person to thrive. But that's not all it's designed for. And this is what I want to talk about. I have myself to blame for my financial issues and no one else. I have made poor decisions. Other than the overall macro topic of this being a rigged system for so many fucking reasons, like we are all being ripped off, the Federal Reserve, taxation, so many things, and then a lot of things that get into the conspiracy territory, even though for me it's not conspiracy, it's just how it works behind closed doors. We're all being rigged. At a certain point, you know, we all do have a collective excuse as to the state of things. Now, putting that aside, personal finance and taking responsibility for one's life and finances is our personal responsibilities. And I have done horribly at this up until this point. This third goal of this program is going to be the most challenging, I would say. Because with the weight and the mobility, I can go do push-ups right now and stretch right now and say, no, Satan, to the Big Mac, and succeed in those two goals. This third goal is dependent upon my interaction with other people and how I myself manipulate those interactions to get what I want, which is more business. That's the ruthless sounding way, but that's simply the way it works. We all exchange energy and get something out of one another. And this is where it's a problem in this society insofar as surviving based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, let's say, if you are the opposite of those pathologies. Most people are just normal, maybe fall in the middle. But for people who are like me, I am an empath. This word now has been thrown around the New Age community like a fucking volleyball. Has been spiked around and set and lobbed around the New Age community like a volleyball. I'm an empath. I'm an empath. I'm an empath. Oh my God. It's like, no, like, this is what it clinically means in my estimation of what it means to be an empath. It means that you are more concerned about the well-being of someone else beyond monetary gain. You see this all the time when a small shop owner says, no, just take it or whatever. Some might call it pity. Some might call it mercy. I'm not a religious person myself, but I'm deeply spiritual. And, I think every religion has their rendition of this. Jesus certainly said a lot of things about this. Blessed are the meek, right? I did go to Catholic high school and such, so I know about the Bible insofar as the big topics. But those are the overall truths that transcend all religions, right? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the whatever. But it's really hard to believe that when you're broke and you have a problem making content and selling things to people because you feel inherently bad about extracting something ultimately from them. And this is one of the reasons why I, as an empathetic person, have struggled monetarily, and it's not an excuse. It's just that the way that this capitalistic, and this is not to say, fuck capitalism, it's not political. It's the objective reality that the way capitalism works is that you must capitalize on other people. If you own a collision auto center, you capitalize on the misfortune of others getting into a wreck. It's like you actually hope that people get into a wreck, right? It's like, oh, I hope they don't get killed. You know, I don't want any fatalities, but like, I need the business. And you can't blame them because like you need the business. This is how it works. Speaking of auto collisions, one example about my empathetic state is I was in Panama City, Panama 2 years ago, a part of my travels. I'm a nomad when I was working a remote job making money. And I witnessed an auto accident at one of the many fucked up intersections in Panama City where it's like fucking crazy chaos there. Is it a stop sign? Is it a stoplight? We don't know. We're both just going to kind of go, and boom, created a big T-bone collision. The woman got out. She was... And I was witnessing this, and I clicked my empathetic, even right now as I tell the story, my mirror neurons. Look up mirror neurons if you're interested in this. My mirror neurons were clicking, like anti-psychopathic, sociopathic, right? Maybe like someone who's kind of a narcissist or those socio-narcissists would see that and be like, fuck, damn, that sucks. And then keep eating their eggs Benedict. Me, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. She's really shaken. She needs somebody. So I dropped my plate, or I paid, I walked over there, and I like approached, and I put my hand on her back just to let her know that she was okay. And that like, yeah, that sucks. You got into that wreck, but it's going to be okay. She immediately looked at me with the saddest fucking eyes, as if this wasn't the first bad thing that happened to her that today or month or whatever. Like she was going through it. And she just like started crying and looking at me. And I was like, I immediately when she did that, it was like a wave, like, and I almost started to cry. And I literally, to avoid that, and I hate like emotional sentimentality. I just like, I don't know. I kind of cringe at it, despite being an empath, right? I immediately was just like, and I had to remove my hand, and I was like, está bien. I was like, you'll be okay. And I walked away because I didn't want to like break down. That, in my mind, is as clear a day example of an empathetic person that I am. So tying that back to making sales, doing all this stuff, like, and you see it online of like, bro, and like all these fucking guru bros who want to make like a sale, I can't even imagine a world where I would be like one of those online make money online gurus. I couldn't even imagine it because all they're doing is exploiting people. I couldn't even imagine it. But to get to that goal of $10,000 a month in my businesses, I have to find a way to reconcile and to further open my mind and educate myself and to really believe that it is okay to sell to people. It is okay to make the content of this channel. It's okay to make this content and monetize it. It's okay if you don't respond to people all the time in the comments because you're going to get bigger and bigger. You're simply not going to have the time for it. It's okay to be like, you're spending a lot of time making and editing this content. You cannot afford in your financial situation to make this content, which is taking a lot of time, you guys. A lot. Launching this channel. Like, from the editing software to how I'm organizing my files, to how I'm transferring my files, to scripting, to ideation, to doing this, to making the cuts I'm going to have to make this video. You guys, it's taken a lot of time. I need to come out not just even, but I need to make a little something from this for the time that I'm putting into this. So I'm just letting you know that I have to monetize this, and I need to start thinking more capitalistically. And maybe you do too. And the way that you do that without becoming socio-psycho, whatever, is just simply knowing, hey, I'm not that. And yeah, I might have to manipulate the truth a little bit to get a sale. like a white lie, just a little bit, but never crossing the threshold of harming that individual. And that's a very, very tight line we all walk every single day with business, right? And to put it into, relative terms, I think we all do what we have to do to survive on a daily basis. But for the normal amongst us, or the empaths amongst us, there are clear lines we do not cross. So I think that's the best framework that I can put it in to justify with myself of becoming more of a businessman. And I read all these books on sales now, and they're like, you're not a sleazebag, you're helping someone's problem. I'm like, all right, maybe that's just them trying to convince themselves that sales is about solving problems and that they're not sleazebags. Nevertheless, I will buy into that. I will do that, okay? I'm solving someone's issues. So for this channel, what am I doing? I am solving the issue of camaraderie and accountability of people who need to hear from a unique, truly authentic, I hope it's authentic, perspective of, you can fucking do this if I can do this. Because this situation I'm in, you guys, is 100% real. Like, this is real, okay? I'm only on day 5, by the way, and I've actually slimmed down a tiny bit, the bloating. But this is 100% real. I'm in the basement. I'm broke. I am building businesses from the ground up after leaving that remote job. Okay? I am broke. Got $500 in my bank account. I could show you right now. I don't want to reveal any details to the weirdos watching. If there's inevitably there are weirdos in the mix who watch stuff on the internet. But I just want to make this to let you know that, like, I am going to pursue some sort of monetization, but this is the best way possible I know to say, like, look, when I do that, I know that I don't have to give the disclaimer of, like, please don't judge me, but I'm going to anyway, of, like, I have to find a way to recover the time that I'm spending doing this. But that's not to detract from the true human connection of it. We simply live in a society where we have to trade our money for time for survival of self. And I think it is I would hope it's an elevated and an evolved perspective to have it, to think of it in this way. Ultimately, I would like no money at all in our society, and we could all lift each other up. And I don't say this as like being a liberal or being, I am not on the political spectrum at all, you guys. I'm just going to say that right now. You have no fucking idea how off of the goddamn stupid political spectrum I am, the left and the right. It has nothing to do with like any sort of ism or hating capitalism or loving communism or collectivism. No. Not at all. Any sort of ism is bad news bears, okay? This is more about personal self-actualization and realization, which is some pretty advanced shit. And I don't even pretend to be anywhere near that, okay? But I just want you to understand for the purposes of this, channel, that I'm really doing it this time. And part and parcel of that is, you guys, I have to get more... I was about to say ruthless, but that's not accurate. I have to get more focused, laser focused, and direct with how I make this channel. Because it's going to be something. It's going to be something, right? I am a professionally trained actor. That is the one business I'm making money in right now is professional voice acting, audiobooks. Like, for real. I'm going to make a video on this about how that's taking off. That's the one business I'm focusing on right now. But ironically, and this is the last point I want to make, in acting school, you would think actors are taught to be fake. Not the good actors. The great actors, the program I went to was a good program. I'll pat myself on the back a little bit and say my program was damn good. What we learn, Stanislavski method, Meisner technique, things like that, it's about removing masks. Removing the mask of yourself, actually. To being more raw, to then start from a place of neutrality, to then connect with a character after you remove the layers of who you are already as the actor, as the person. So don't let the fact that I'm a professional actor, I am professional, I've been on TV and stuff, don't let that detract from the fact that I am genuine as fuck, or at least I'm telling myself I am, okay? So that's all I really want to say on this topic, where it's like, I have to monetize this at a certain point because, again, it needs to contribute to that $10K a month. But that is not going to get in the way of my true empathetic feelings of you people out there that I know are struggling with the demons and the addictions on your own, whether it's food, cigarettes, alcohol, vaping, whatever. And I really don't see that as a bad thing. I can't tell myself that's a bad thing. I need to see it as a net positive. You gain from this genuinely good content, not fucking tung 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 sahur. You gain from genuinely good content, and you can reciprocate that back by just helping the channel grow, and in the future, joining for tiny nominal fees. I'm not going to be charging a lot at all. I'm seeing school communities where they charge like $97 a month for like Alpha Male Club. Get the fuck out of here, man. No, you'll definitely understand and see how the value that I provide is a lot, but that means it's a lot more work on my end, and it's tough. It's tough actually giving a fuck about people in this world, you guys. It's tough. But would it be any other way? We live in an inverted prison planet matrix. Talk about that later on another channel, maybe. That's it. Thank you for watching this. Subscribe and like if you genuinely want to. Because if you don't, and it's just because I'm coddling you, then you shouldn't do it. Thanks so much.